Tonight at 10, seeing a shortage of pharmacists. We're going to take a look at possible solutions to that problem.
Plus, Hurricane Ian leaving destruction in its wake. We bring you the latest as it makes its way through Florida.
And 8 counts of first-degree murder. New information on the man accused of murdering a Springfield couple earlier this month. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Now, you've probably seen long lines at the pharmacy or even waited in them yourself, or heard someone complain about the issues with those pharmacies and just waiting days for a medication.
Yeah, this is due to a nationwide pharmacist shortage. Our Marlena Lang has why this is happening and if there are any solutions.
Last week in a special report, we told you about the nationwide pharmacist shortage, why many pharmacists are leaving the industry, and how it is affecting Central Illinois. Now we ask, what can be done about this issue? Is there a solution to the pharmacist shortage?
When their staff levels are decreased, doesn't necessarily mean that your prescription volumes decrease, which increases the workload on everybody involved. And we're all human beings. We can only take so much.
The added workload pharmacists have taken on from COVID-19 pandemic have caused many of them to experience burnout and leave the industry, according to pharmacy professionals, leaving those who stay with a nearly impossible workload.
The pharmacists are, they still have their primary duties, which is to dispense people's everyday medications, and then you start piling on the demand for vaccines. And when you're not giving the pharmacists any additional help to accomplish all of that, it's going to create bigger wait times and more dissatisfaction, with the pharmacy.
This increased workload has left several pharmacy consumers experiencing long wait times for their medication, sometimes waiting as long as days, expressing their frustrations and a need for change.
We should not have to wait on our medication. When we get down to like 1 or 2 tablets in our bottle, we should be able to call the pharmacy and get our prescription refilled.
Even pharmacies that aren't experiencing shortages feel the effects of low staffing.
Often when we have to call for a transfer when we have a new patient and get the information from the other store, and we found that we've sat on hold for 2 hours at a time. No one answers the phone, no one gets back with us. Pharmacists agree that a change needs to be made. In August of 2022, the Pharmacy Workplace and Well-Being Report showed that 56% of pharmacists who responded said negative work experiences took place during times of low staffing. Though to hire more pharmacists, current pharmacists say the money going into not only pharmacy, but all of healthcare has to increase.
The pandemic's shown that we have an underfunded healthcare system that has not fully been supported both by public and private programs, and that has to change, and it has to change really quickly because it's having a negative impact, and now patients are being effective and not getting access to their pharmacist and their medications.
Pharmacists are unsure on how long the shortage will last, though in the meantime, they ask that you be kind to your pharmacists, as most often it is not their fault for the slowdown. It is also important to know that there are other options, such as local pharmacies that don't have such long wait periods, and some even deliver to you. Reporting live in Champaign, I'm Marlena Lang.
All right, thank you, Marlena. Now, if you missed part 1 of the special report, you can find it over on our website, newschannel20.com.
It's going to be another chilly night across the land of Lincoln as we see clear skies. Satellite and radar continue to show dry conditions across central Illinois. We'll see temperatures dropping just below 40 degrees, so we'll flirt around 40 degrees as the overnight low for Springfield. Winds out from the east at 3 to 6 miles per hour. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about Hurricane Ian as it continues to slide through the state of Florida. Also, with those chillier temperatures, there is a chance for some patchy frost, and then I'm tracking more fall-like temperatures. More details coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Sarah. Continuing with Hurricane Ian coverage, still sweeping its way across Florida this evening. Wind and rain still beating the state's coastline.
Now, what you're looking at, it's a live look at Daytona Beach on the east coast of the state. The storm has been downgraded now to a Category 2 after making landfall earlier today as a Category 4 hurricane. Officials saying that this storm has packed winds of up to 150 miles an hour.
Well, this video from earlier today showing a downed power line, this one erupting into flames. Already hundreds of thousands of people are without power. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has requested that President Biden approve a major disaster declaration for the entire state. He wants the Federal Emergency Management Agency to match funds for 2 months worth of cleanup.
And the American Red Cross is also a local organization that's sending people and resources down to the Sunshine State. Dean Otta, he's been serving as an American Red Cross volunteer for nearly 12 years, and right now he's on standby to go to Florida this week to help with Hurricane Ian relief efforts. Otta says that he's not sure when he'll be deployed to Florida or even where yet.
CWLP has crews on its way to Florida. 4 trucks were expected to arrive this afternoon and ready to assist with utilities. Springfield crews join more than 100 others from 19 different states. Officials say that's around 650 workers who will be working around the clock to restore power once the hurricane moves away.
Well, crime alert now. The man accused of killing a Springfield couple now indicted for murder. Now, Mark Kreitz was indicted on 8 counts of first-degree murder and 5 other felonies today. Kreitz was arrested for the shooting death of John and Gloria Norgard and arson earlier this month. Kreitz will be arraigned on Thursday. If convicted of all these charges, he's facing mandatory life in prison. His bail remains set at $5 million. And some new information tonight. A juvenile in custody after Pana police received a tip on a social media threat towards schools. An investigation led to the arrest of a 16-year-old Pana High School student. The student has been charged with disorderly conduct, which is a Class 4 felony. They were then taken to the Christian County Courthouse to await a detention hearing.
Election 2022. Tomorrow, it's the start of early voting in the capital city. Registered voters don't have to wait for Election Day to cast their vote. Early voting is available tomorrow until the day before Election Day, which that's November 7th.
So September 29th is the first day for the issuance of ballot by mail. That runs the entire time frame through November 8th that you can make a request and receive a ballot by mail to vote. Same for early voting, starts September 29th.
Now, once you vote early, you cannot change your ballot or cast another one on Election Day.
Well, still ahead tonight, new rainbow-colored pills hitting America's streets, targeting your children. What officials say you need to look out for to keep your kids safe.
Plus, calling for more blood donations, how healthcare providers are trying to get ahead of the demand.
Is the second at a District 186 high school in just 3 months. The first happened on the first day of school over at Southeast High. Now we're continuing with our team coverage and our Devin Truby with what we're learning from Springfield Police and how parents are feeling about today's incident. Devin.
That's right, Marcella. The school resource officer provided by the Springfield Police Department wasn't at Lanphier High School today.
Well, breaking news, crews were on the scene for what they say is a hazardous material situation near Westville. State Route 1 just south of Lyons Road was closed earlier this evening. An evacuation of residents also took place. Officials say the area is now clear. ASMAT teams and fire departments were on the scene. We'll continue to bring you updates as more information becomes available.
We're joined now by Natalie Jaresko, former finance minister of Ukraine from 2014 to 2016. Natalie, thanks for joining us. What's your reaction to what's happening right now and the images and video that have come out of Ukraine?
Well, honestly, it's horrific. What's happening shouldn't happen in the 21st century.
What are your thoughts on other countries and their position right now and Ukraine being by themselves a little bit in this war?
I think that's changed over the last 48 hours. For whatever.
Turning to your weather right now, it's been a nice day for the capital city and it's looking like a warm week may be here for us. Now, meteorologist Sarah Converse joining us now. Sarah, is it safe to break out those shorts?
Well, not for me, or maybe
Not
for
me.
you. Yeah, it's a little bit still too cold for me just yet, but I won't be surprised if some true Midwesterners out there are pulling out their shorts, as temperatures are going to be warming up into the 60s.
Continuing our team coverage now, city leaders say that they are preparing for that next round of winter weather that Cheryl just mentioned, and their biggest concern is the ice. Devin Truby checking in with Public Works to see just how they're going to plan on battling those icy start to the storm tomorrow. Devin?
John, Springfield Public Works calling this situation from rain to ice to snow more difficult to handle and concerning.
All right, thank you, Devin. Public Works says that if it turns out to be a large amount of snow, that they will be plowing subdivisions as well.
Well, developing news tonight, 2 people are dead after what police are now investigating as a double homicide.
Well, police officials say a couple in their 60s were found dead in a home in the 500 block of Southwind Drive in Springfield. Police are now looking for a 2008 black Dodge Charger in connection to the crime. If you have any information, you are asked to contact the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office at the number on your screen.
Illinois Representative Adam Kinzinger is calling for stricter gun regulations following that tragic Uvalde school shooting. Kinzinger says that the country needs harsher so-called red flag laws. He emphasized the intention is not to take everybody's guns away, but to create solutions for responsible gun ownership.
There's this epidemic of young men between the age of 18 and 21 that are doing these kinds of things. I think one of the easiest things we can do to begin to do something is to say you got to be 21 to buy a rifle in this country. You got to be 21 to buy cigarettes.
Kinzinger says that he hopes the Uvalde tragedy will sway his fellow lawmakers to act.
Continuing coverage, Illinois leaders and lawmakers coming together today to discuss how to support children and families through traumatic events. The panel comes just days after the shooting at Uvalde Elementary School. Now, the Illinois Public Safety and Violence Prevention Task Force are looking for ways to not only support those who experience such horrific events, but also how to invest into programs that would prevent them.
How are we going to do something innovative and bold? How are we going to do something different? Because we all know that doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome is not reasonable or logical.
Leaders are suggesting a coalition to stop those who aim to harm others from accessing firearms. And here in Central Illinois, the community gathering to remember those killed in the 9/11 terrorist attack. Springfield held its annual 9/11 ride to remember this morning to honor victims and first responders. Local first responders joined residents to speak about what the day means to them. Due to rain, the ceremony looked a little different than in years past, but organizers say what's important is the community coming together.
The more I see people come together and stand in unison as one, it's important to me. That's what brings me here.
This was the parade's 20th year.
In Decatur, a solemn ceremony at the city's 9/11 memorial. People gathered around in the misty weather to listen to a program provided and to reflect. Stories were told and people took a moment to pray for those impacted by the attacks. Organizers say having events like this helps residents remember 9/11 and have hope that people can heal after tragedy.
So from whatever tragedies that come from anybody's life, there is always hope. This and the rebuilding that happened in New York should always remind us that there is hope. Just hang out, hold on, because there is hope.
Decatur's memorial is home to a piece of the World Trade Center gifted to the city in 2017 by the Port Authority in New Jersey.
Capital City Watch tonight, the Sangamon County Sheriff's and the Coroner's Office are moving into the old SJR building over in downtown Springfield. And our Devin Truby has been working for you with a look inside the building and their plans. Hi, Devin.
That's right, Marcella. The county is saving taxpayers just shy of $1.3 million by choosing to renovate this building instead of buying a new one.
Springfield residents ran for a good cause today. After a year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the capital city's Fat A 5K was back in full swing with the main event followed by a street party. The Fat A 5K was donated over $1.5 million to charity since 2008.
It's important to the community because we support so many local charities, charities that are in need. A lot of times they get looked over by bigger fundraising events. So all the dollars stay really here in Sangamon County, and we're really proud of that.
Organizers put on this year's event with late founder Paul Schaefer in mind. Straw fedoras were worn in his memory.
Tonight at 10, controversy surrounding Illinois Democrats' budget proposal. We break it down for you.
Plus, reforming Illinois nursing homes, details on a new bill that aims to improve the care of the state's seniors.
And a man accused of killing an Illinois deputy found guilty, the latest in that case. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. It was a cool day in the capital city, but we're ready for a little warm up.
We really are, and some sunshine, hopefully. Chief Meteorologist Cheryl Lemke's got the answers to both those questions.